The United States War Department created these interesting and funny pamphlets for American servicemen who would be stationed in Australia: The Pocket Guide to Australia and Instructions for American Servicemen in Australia 1942. Watch until the end to get the link to download the PDF. These two pamphlets were almost identical to each other in content, but there were some formatting differences. You got to give it to the War Department back in those days. They got straight to the point. It states, they like us and we like them. It is true that Australians welcomed American troops, whether the Army or the Marines. This man is your friend. He fights for freedom. It's interesting that someone felt the need to point that out. This map shows how close the Imperial Japanese Army and Navy were to the northern part of Australia. You'll find that the Digger is a rapid, sharp, and unsparing kidder, able to hold his own with Americans or anyone else. He doesn't miss a chance to spar back and forth, and he enjoys it all the more if the competition is tough. Another thing, the Digger is instantaneously sociable. Riding on the same train with American troops, a mob of Aussies are likely to descend on the Yanks, investigate their equipment, ask every kind of personal question, find out if there's any liquor to be had, and within 5 minutes be showing pictures of their girls and families. The term digger originally referred to gold miners in the 1800s Australian gold rush. It was adopted during World War I as a nickname for Australian and New Zealand soldiers. The idea was that the soldiers were like miners, digging trenches, enduring hardship with a friendly attitude. Notice the Owen gun, created and manufactured right in Australia. When tested against the American Thompson and British Sten in muddy water, the Owen gun kept firing while the others jammed. This weapon was perfect for the South Pacific's humid, muddy, and sandy terrain. Just a couple of lines to let you know I found out I'm not in Ireland after all. This shows that the Portuguese and then later the Spaniards discovered Australia, but they didn't stick around. This shows that the Dutch explorer Abel Tasman discovered what is now Tasmania in 1642. He also made another adventurous voyage 2 years later, mapping the northern coast of Australia. This also shows how Captain Cook explored the east coast and named it New South Wales. For those of you out there who remember Ripley's Believe It or Not, this presents factoids in the same manner. Not so long ago in a Sydney bar, an American soldier turned to an Australian next to him and said, "Well, Aussie, you can go home now. We've come over to save you." The Aussie cracked back, "Have you? I thought you were a refugee from Pearl Harbor." It states that there are 120 million sheep in Australia, 40 sheep for every square mile. Of course, this was in 1942. In modern times, there are a little over 73 million sheep, with almost 25 per square mile. Some of this has been blamed on drought conditions. Americans and Australians are two of the gamblingest people on the face of the earth. It's been said of the Australians that if a couple of them in a bar haven't anything else to bet on, they'll lay odds on which of the two flies will rise first from the bar, or which raindrop will get to the bottom of the window first. If an American happened to be there, he'd probably be making book. Here we see that Sydney was established in 1788 and that gold was found in 1851 by a miner who had just returned from the California gold rush. This doubled Australia's population in 7 years. Fight, work, or perish. That's the slogan you'll see all over Australia, and it means just what it says. This portion about where Australia got its name is false. The name Australia was only used for the first time in 1794, long after the Spaniards had stopped exploring. I suspect that they just made this story up. A British Royal Navy captain named Matthew Flinders put the name Australia in a footnote in his book. Writing it sounded more agreeable to the ear than Terra Australis, which is Latin for Southland. If you feel otherwise, then leave it in the comments below for a future discussion. The Australians, especially the girls, are a bit amazed at the politeness of American soldiers. Later it states that American troops have been welcomed in Australia with a good deal of warmth and a feeling of close kinship. A fact check of the middle mention of Australia's World War I casualties reveals it is slightly off. The real figures are closer to 215,585 total casualties, killed, wounded, and missing, out of 331,781 sent overseas in the Australian Imperial Force, also known as the AIF. Notice also that Sir John Monash is shown here. He is also the subject of another Mercis Tech video about the Battle of Valmel. I recommend that you check that out. Here is how you can download the PDF for this pamphlet and read it fully at your leisure. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment and like and subscribe to this channel.